It's often said that truth is stranger than fiction, and in today's story, that's definitely the case. In 1986, Annie and Jessica Andrews, who were teenage sisters, unfortunately lose their mother to cancer. It was a relatively abrupt death, caught the family by surprise, and so following her death, Annie and Jessica lived full-time with their father, Brian Andrews. Now, Brian worked a lot, but with the death of his wife, he had to work even more to make sure he was bringing home enough of an income to provide for his two daughters. Annie and Jessica were hit very hard by the loss of their mother. They were very close with her. And, with their father being gone so much, those two were left alone a lot at the house and left alone with their thoughts, and they missed their mom. And so one night when Brian was out at work, the girls decide to use a Ouija board to try to contact their mother. And they would even admit that they didn't really expect anything to happen. They just wanted some sort of connection to their mother, who they missed terribly. So they went down in the basement, they got out the Ouija board, and they have like a seance. They didn't really do much research into how to do it or what to do. They basically just started, kind of asking if their mother was here, could she give them some sign? And so they have this kind of Ouija board seance, and, nothing comes of it. Brian is not home for this. Their father is not home, and it's just those two. And after a couple of hours of doing this seance, they ultimately put it away. And in a way, it was kind of a cathartic experience that they got to think about their mom really intently and kind of think maybe she could be with them right then. And in many ways, the seance was a success because it made them feel closer to their mom, even if it was just for a moment and if it was artificial. So they put the Ouija board away, and the girls go upstairs, and they're kind of having a low-key night and ultimately decide to go to bed. Now, their father has not come home yet, so just the girls. They're used to this. This is how a lot of nights went. And as they're laying in bed, they both start hearing tapping sounds. Now, they're in separate rooms, and they heard the same tapping sounds. And in fact, Jessica would get up and come into Annie's room and say, "Hey, do you hear the tapping sound on the walls?" And Annie's like, "Yeah, I hear it too." And they're listening, and there's silence, and they hear this kind of like tapping sound in the walls. They didn't know what it was. They'd never heard it before. And the girls, again, they miss their mother so terribly. And they were basically hoping that it was their mom. And so they're like, "It's mom. Mom's trying to get in touch with us. She's making sounds to get in touch with us. It's from the seance. It must have worked." And they start asking their mother questions like, "Are you here with us right now? And can you show yourself to us? And, are you looking after us?" Just like questions that you would imagine people might ask if they thought, the ghost of a